Hello everyone, I am Gyan and you are learning computer science with Python for class 11. In this video we are going to learn about various functions and various methods supported by tuple in Python. We are going to learn tuple, functions and methods. There are various built-in functions supported by tuple data type in Python. The built-in functions means functions which are already created and included in the Python compiler. Means you as a user have not created it. Such functions are called built-in functions. So Python supports various built-in functions, means various readily available functions for tuple data type. One of the function is len function. As we already have studied about len function at various occasions. The len function is used to calculate length of any sequence. So if you write here len and provide a tuple object in the argument of len, then you will get length of that tuple. Okay, gives length of the tuple. The effect of len function with tuples is same as its effect with list. Let's try the len function practically. Suppose that I have a tuple, say 1, 2, a list 3, 4, 5, then hello. I have a tuple. If I write len and pass the variable a as the argument of len, I got 4 because effectively there are only 4 elements in the tuple. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Effectively there are only 4 elements in the tuple. Of course, this element has 3 sub-elements inside it, but effectively there are just 4 elements in this tuple. Therefore length of a is 4. The next we are going to learn is max method, max function or max method. Max calculates maximum of a tuple. Okay, means if I write b is equal to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then I write max b. It returns 3 because 3 is the maximum between 1, 2 and 3. If I write b is equal to apple, hello and hi. What is maximum? Maximum in b. What is maximum in b? Maximum element of b is high. This is the highest element of the tuple. Okay, high is the highest element of the tuple. Here you know that different strings are comparable. Okay, so we can compare these strings. Which of the string is maximum can be calculated by writing max b. But suppose that if the elements of a tuple are not comparable, then what will happen? Here in this case, these 3 elements are comparable. Here in this case, the 3 elements are comparable. But here in this case, I cannot compare one with a list. I cannot compare one with a string. These are not comparable. In that case, the max method will return an error. Okay, it is saying that greater than not supported between instances of list and integer, means this one cannot be compared with this one. Okay, so since in this tuple we have heterogeneous elements and all the elements are not comparable with each other, therefore providing a to a max method will return an error. Similar to the max method, we have something called min method. If I write here min of b, that means here I want a string which is minimum in b. Okay, the string apple is minimum in B. Press enter and here it returns apple because apple is minimum in B. If you write B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 3, press enter and I write min B, it means I am writing the minimum of B, that is 1. Similar to max, I cannot apply min to a tuple which is having elements which are not comparable. So here I cannot apply A to the min method. It will throw an error that less than not supported between instances of list and integer, because we cannot compare these elements of a tuple. The next we have sum method. Sum method adds all the elements of a tuple. If you provide a tuple to the sum method, it adds all the elements present in the tuple. Type ideally. You have a list L1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Press enter. L2 is equal to 1 high and a list 2, 3. Press enter. Now type sum and pass the tuple L1 here. It adds all the element in the tuple. Whereas if you try to pass the tuple L2 in some method, it throws an error because here you are trying to add 1 with high, which is not syntactically correct in Python. You cannot add 1 with high. This is an error. Therefore here we got an error. So you cannot pass a tuple or a list to some method in which the various elements are heterogeneous. After some method or some function, we are going to learn is index method. Index method. If you have a list and you want to find index of an element in the list, you use index method. Let's try it. L2 dot index. I want to find index of the string high in tuple L2. The string high is present at the index 1. I want to find the index of the list 2, 3 in the tuple L2. So the list 2, 3 is present at the tuple L2. Now suppose that I want to find index of 2 in tuple L2. It will throw an error. Let me type it again. L2 dot index and type here 2. I got an error saying that 2 as a x where x is not in the tuple. Okay. After index method, we have something called count method. Count method. Count method counts appearance of an element in a tuple. T1 is equal to 2, 4, 2, 5, 7, 4, 8, 9, 9, 11, 7, 2. T1 dot count, I want to count how many times the element 2 has been appeared in tuple T1. Oh, I have typed a wrong spelling. T1 dot count, how many times the element 2 has been appeared in tuple T1? 3 times. So this is the count method we use to count occurrence, number of occurrences of an element in the tuple. The other method we are going to learn is sorted method or sorted function. When you pass a tuple to sorted method, it creates a list using all the elements in the tuple, but those elements will be present in the list in sorted order. Press enter and here you got. A list has been created using various elements of the tuple T1, but here in the list, the various elements of tuple T1 are in sorted order. The next method we are going to learn is tuple method. When you pass a sequence as an argument to the tuple method, it converts the given sequence into tuple. It converts a given sequence into tuple. That means a new tuple will be created with all the elements are taken from this sequence. This is called the tuple method. Let's try it. Suppose that if I have a string s is equal to hello, then I type here tuple and pass the string s as an argument to the tuple method. Here I got a tuple with all the elements are taken from this string. If you just call the tuple method without having any argument, it creates an empty tuple, means a tuple without any argument. Of course, we can create a tuple using any sequence, using list also. I have a list as an argument to the tuple function, and that creates a tuple using various elements of that list. Even we can create a tuple using a dictionary, like we can call like this, t is equal to tuple, and here you can pass a dictionary like 1 colon 2, 3 colon hello, hi colon 6.7. So there are 3 keys in this dictionary, 1, 3 and hi, and 3 values, 2, hello and 6.7. We already have talked about dictionary in brief in a video. Okay, link to that video is given in the video description. So if you press enter here, type T, you get a tuple of the keys. Getting me? The values means 2, hello and 6.7 are not been added to the tuple. Only keys are added to the tuple. Of course, you cannot pass a non-sequence data to a tuple. This is an error. Integer object is not iterable. Only iterables, that means only sequences, can be passed to the tuple method. Using the tuple method, we can indirectly change value of a tuple. You know that tuples are immutable, in which the values normally should not be changed. But we can create effect of changing an element of tuple by using the tuple and list methods. Let's try it. Suppose that I have a tuple t1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my tuple which I want to change. So what I do here is I'm going to create a list, and let's create a list using the various elements of the tuple. Okay, this is my list. Then change a value at a given index. We can change the value in a list. So write L1 2 is equal to hi. Press enter, type L1, and here we have changed our list. Then convert this list to tuple again. T1 is equal to tuple. Convert this list to tuple again. This is my T1. So indirectly, I have changed the value of T1. Actually, I have not changed this object. What I did here is I created a different object than this one and assigned T1 with the reference of newly created object with the changed value. That's what I am doing. So effectively, these two are different objects. Still, I am not changing the tuple in place. Okay, I am not changing the content of this tuple. I am creating a very new tuple with all the changes and assigning its reference to the variable T1. Further, you can do it in a different way also. Like suppose that I have 5 elements, so I have created 5 different variables A, B, C, D, is equal to t1, and then create a tuple with a different ordering of these variables like a, e, b, d, c. Enter t1, and here you got a tuple with all these values are permutated. So effectively we are changing a tuple. Initially t1 was pointing somewhere else, but we made t1 pointing to a very different object with different values. Okay, so tuple is still immutable object. What we are doing, we are creating a very new object with the changes. We are creating very new tuple object with all the desired changes. That's how we are indirectly modifying the tuple. So that's all for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed learning about various methods of tuple in Python. See you in the next video where we will learn about nested tuples.